Hi, my name is Mina Crichton. I'm the narrator of my YouTube channel, which is Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. All my YouTube channel is being narrated by myself, nobody else. I'm the original in this matter, like in my court cases and anything to do with myself. It's my personal entity. So I'm telling the story as it is. Okay, I am talking about my professional and my personal testimony on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I also want you to keep in mind that what you'll be learning from my channel is that I'm basically disclosing and exposing that I have actually been used for Commonwealth Games. So everything that has happened to me. So this post here is basically describing from my point of view and from my vision as the victim used for the Commonwealth game illegally. It is a global game. So basically you'll be learning as time goes on how it actually operates with this new system. So the Commonwealth game is called an ecosystem, okay? So what it entails is that there is a middleman person listening, recording, and then they are doing whatever they're doing on the next level. So basically they want to have the upper hand of the originals to know what they're doing, so they can always stay in the win. In this regards, I'm talking about the court cases. I also want you guys, those that know me, know that I am not a racist person at all. So, but I have to tell and describe from my point of view how the actual Commonwealth game works and how it, actually works against the originals, whoever's trapped in it. But it is it's called the ecosystem, and it's actually, I can't believe it even exists. But everything is done by just the misuse of devices, and the originals are actually trapped or exiled, and other people are controlling and manipulating the situation. So on this post here, I'm the people that I've put down, this is their coding system, okay? This is what they're using for me, meaning they could be using this for somebody else differently, but for me this is the names of their coding that they've used, their definition. So this has allowed the shadow people, they call themselves, to come out in your space unexpectedly, and and they're spying. So basically they've coded their people, and all they need to do is just put it on TV or in their ads, and they know they're in trouble, and then they can, do the, sabotage or do whatever it is they are meant to do. They can do hits on a person, meaning they can set up a car accident or poison you just by coding, all right? And this is really serious because it's a global thing, and my personal profile actually articulate that I have been used for illegal Commonwealth games by government people and also the public, but it is a sport. And I live to tell my experience. So just keep in mind, don't take anything I say personally. I'm just focusing on the evidence. Just because these people, they've used the word sushi for Asian, and then they've used and curry for Indians, and then they've used ocean, and that's, the people for Aotearoa, and then eco for Tonga. I mean, there are others too, but just because, these people are in this alliance, they don't speak for everybody else that is an Asian or an Indian or Maori or European. And it is also, there's a lot of white supremacies extremists. So we're dealing with extremist people doing their own thing and breaking the law, but it is organized crimes. So just keep it in mind. I'm not talking, these people do not represent everyone, but there's good and bad in every culture, religion, race. But this is the global game that I'm going through. So what you want to focus on any evidence that I put on social media. I mean, you can use that also as an example if you are a judge or somebody else making decisions behind the scene in an authority. You have to use your own instincts of making decisions individually. So really, it's up to you whether you believe who's telling the truth, who is not. However, a lot of people in my private life didn't know they were subject to a Commonwealth game. So it's so dangerous. It's so illegal. I'm even shocked with the discovery I have discovered, going through all this. So in this case of mine, I'm actually that individual. I'm basically using the laws I've tried to use the laws in the beginning to protect myself, my civil rights, my entity, my personal property, which is my personal profile, my name, and but it is definitely a trafficking in persons case. But before this new system that has changed the laws dramatically, it is allowing what I've gone through for other people to go through. It has made me feel like a human generator, where like a slave-like app or a product. But everything that's happened to me does fall in the Crimes Act jurisdiction. It's just a matter of proving that, which is very easy for me to do because I've been onto it. Like, I've known it's been happening to me legally, and I've been consistent leaving a trail of evidence. So now I can actually prove that legally in the criminal jurisdiction. But the penalty is 20 years plus. So there's a lot of people who've taken turns doing this to me. But my posts actually describe, from my point of view as the victim, as the victim of crimes, and then interpreting the laws that in consistency with my experience and what they actually mean from my point of view. All right. So I am being used for a pecuniary advantage, and I'm the one who's the actual person that is narrating everything, and I'm also the one that's doing the legal litigations at court. I'm representing myself as the plaintiff in the civil jurisdiction. When it goes to the criminal, you're automatically the victim. But in saying that, everything about me, I've actually been the victim right from day one, and I just haven't acted like the victim. But I did use the system like everybody else. Unfortunately, I've exhausted the system, and it has let me down. So I'll just carry on. Today, I'm still going to be focusing on Judge Chalice's judgment, because I feel her judgment basically nearly almost has everything to do with this court case, leading up to the judiciary review up to this year and so forth. But I felt in my heart that I need to kind of focus a little bit more on some of the evidence that's actually really important. So the reason why I'm contesting them is because they've actually used the Mental Health Compulsory Assessment Treatment Act 1992 on me without any substantial evidence or anything substantial to use the act, and they locked me up for 5 days. But the interpretation of this act, a lot of people see it as somebody impaired or somebody mentally unstable, which I'm definitely not. So this is the 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 warlike competition that I've had against with the opposition. The problem is that they are using substitutes. They're using the misuse of devices, and it's been a global coding. Hence is the reason why the other unlawful strikes exist today. So my last clip, you all would have watched the appeal. That was on the appeal. Everything on the appeal is what I was appealing against with judge's judgment. But on this, I felt I needed to focus on a bit more on this evidence here, on the court hearing that took place on the 9th of February 2016. Okay, it was heard at the it's called Waitarau unit. From what I'm told, that doesn't exist anymore, but it did exist. So it's still easy to find out about, whether this, because it's government, like anything judgments is government. So, but I felt I needed to focus on this because there were things in this judgment I wasn't happy about it either. Okay, so the oral judgment was done. Well, he's written oral judgment of Judge A.I. McHardy, dated the 9th of February 2016. So this confirms also the last day I was, in the unit, in the hospital, and I was released on this same day. Okay, Dr. John Joseph, he actually submitted his evidence dated this time. So, but he submitted the court the wrong date, which I believe why Judge Chalice allowed me, why I won against them. And I'll carry on because I will show. So this here, pardon me, the actual court hearing was actually held at the hospital. Right, so it wasn't at court, it was held in hospital, and I felt it was just important because I wanted the recording of this hearing because I knew I was being set up. I wasn't happy how I was treated, and there were like enough people to summons, and they're all still alive. They can be summons if this needs to go to court. So the judge was Judge A. McHardy. And see here, this is the psychiatric interview by John Joseph, Dr. Here's his name, and he submitted it and he put the 10th of February. But the last day for me was on the 9th. So I believe that's another reason why he lost. The judge would have noticed that he had given the wrong date on his report. So what he has submitted to me, because I had asked him, I wanted a transcript of our recording, because I recorded it, he recorded it, I had mine, but I wanted his one too, because we're allowed to ask for it, because it's to do with you. And so this is his recording, and I wasn't happy about it because it wasn't consistent with what I had submitted, but I had actually recorded us talking. Now, just one moment. So what I'm going to do is just go back to Judge Chalice's reserved judgment of Judge J. Chalice. So I need to just go back here, just keeping you all in the same mindset that I am at the moment. Otherwise, it's easy to be confused. So we're dealing with this defendant here, Dr. John Joseph, and this defendant here, and this defendant here, because they use the Mental Health Act. Now I'm going to explain how the Commonwealth game operates. Okay, I didn't know this back then. It took a long time for God to actually reveal to me exactly what was going on, because I didn't understand what was going on. But the Commonwealth game, whatever is the defendant, like for example, Dr. John Joseph, he was Indian, and then the second one is Dr. Ikam, she was Asian, and the third one was Joanne Schuslebum. I have a reason to believe she was Croatian, and then the other three they were all Europeans, okay? Why is this information important? Because they're coding their defendants by their nationality or by their culture, or, and then what happens is, because it's a global game, everybody that's in the game are all wanting them to win their court cases or save their jobs. So I didn't know this was going on, but that is my finding with what has happened to me historically, and it also explains the unlawful strikes and everything else involving my personal profile and my cases. So what actually happened, I went through the complaints process, which is the ombudsman, and they responded to me, and then but we didn't come to any solution. But then I was able to take it through to the next level, which was the civil jurisdiction. So basically, I'm just telling you how the actual the system works. You've got to go through the process, the complaints process, to be able to take it to a civil court, and with the hope to actually get it sorted. So they were aware of it, that there was a complaint, a civil case lodged against the Ministry of Health. However, the judgment of this one here, he's written an oral judgment, and I actually asked for a transcript of what happened in the hearing, but he actually declined it. But I did have a lawyer, and her name was Jan Leeming. She was a mental health specialist lawyer, and she was there at the hearing, and they released me. But unfortunately, it was part of the game. Okay, I have a reason to believe that they had used the act for the purpose to defame my character and everything else, and as a cover-up, so nobody can go back and address what happened to me. That is actually quite serious, and I know that is the reason why they've used the act on me, for that reason, because they didn't have any sufficient evidence to use it. But it is part of a global game, and I understand now why they did actually use it, why they did what they did, and their intent to do it. Now, I'm going to also focus on point 19 of Judge Chalice's judgment, okay? So basically, the judge has gotten this off my statement of claim, which proves she's read my statement of claim. And she's put here, the plaintiff, Mina Crichton, has sufficient evidence to prove that on or about 1997, 1998, she was admitted to the North Shore Hospital because she tried to commit suicide due to family violence with the father of her 3 children, and at the time, they were young. So what had actually happened was, I had submitted all this information to the judge, okay? There was definitely sufficient evidence for the judge to make a judgment of liability automatically, but that didn't happen. But the other concern I had was, hello, I've just submitted all my private information to you guys, because we're doing it all online, and then over the counter, we're giving it to them. Okay. So, and with what I've been going through, other people have been doing proxy hacking. And this is what I call the unlawful everything, proxy hacking, and the unlawful Commonwealth. And this is how they're also cheating in their court cases. So I quickly drafted up an affidavit of a list of legal documents right here, and it was sworn. There's the name of the deputy registrar, so that makes it an automatic legal document. The name of the deputy registrar is Annette Bracey. She was she served me at the Auckland District Court. There were other forms, other legal documents that were submitted over the counter at this time too. Quick review. This here was submitted, Church of Christ New Zealand, by myself. This is dated the 21st of February 2000, and also it was also just to let them know that I was also known as Mina Noema and Mina Crichton, so there shouldn't be any confusion. Sorry, I'm a little bit stressed and overwhelmed at the moment, so I'm trying to stay focused. So this here is sufficient evidence. This was my pastor, Pastor C.D. King, and so this here is concrete evidence that I did belong to that church, and I was regularly a member there. And he wrote this, and so this is was also with the protected disclosure evidence, but someone kept over the years, people have removed documentations, and I have felt that they were trying to set up the church and the people within my personal space. That is what I have discovered personally from my own environment, with people coming in and out of my home whenever, whatever they want to call it. Just one moment. Okay. I also had evidence of a marriage license to prove that I got married there. So you can see the address here, was married there. And then I got divorced. I ended up divorcing my ex. The thing was that I actually made the application. See this, I always said I divorced him in 2006, which I did. But so this here is a legal document to say that we actually divorced. So I've been single that long. Also on the legal documents, I had in there a protection order because I was going through domestic violence. Here you go, which I made final. Okay, this game, while I'm at it, they've coded my ex pizza, so my family's been coded pizza. So this is where they've got it from, and this is why I've put in there refer to my personal profile. So what I'm saying is a lot of the participants or the coding has everything to do with the victim's personal profile. Okay, so the other evidence I had submitted in there, it was the relationship was mostly on and off, and mostly off. Okay, we didn't have anything in common. He was into a different life that I wasn't used to or knew about it or had anything to do with it, but we didn't have anything in common, and he was right into drugs and alcohol at this point of time. So the relationship was very stressful on me as a mother, and then we ended up this evidence here I proved to the court that I submitted to the judge was that I actually tried to commit suicide. So this is the evidence that I submitted, okay? And this is the address that I was living at. Basically, I'm proving to the court I'm the victim, and they have made a very serious mistake, and that endangered my life once again. They tried to make me kill myself, basically. Suicidal pact is what I've actually charged the Ministry of Health for aiding and abetting suicide and organised crime. So on this here is also evidence of my friend. Her name is Dawn Sutherland. At this point in time, she took me to the hospital, and I think my youngest son was only 3 years old. Okay, so all this, the judge has acknowledged she's seen it. So there was no reason for any court case to be dragged on. A judgment of liability should have been done back then. And the other thing I felt really concerned about, was I'm submitting all my documentations to courts or to all these people that we're submitting our documents to. We're telling them our honest truth. and then things get declined. And I'm pretty consistent with what I do. I usually check up and do my research on our rights and my laws. I usually make sure I'm not breaking any laws, and don't want my application to be declined, because if anything goes wrong, when people make some complaints, people who do the investigation, for example, serious fraud or anyone, it's the laws that the corporate bodies or the individuals, they will be judged according to the merits of those laws to see if they've broken those laws. And that's why, sorry, I had a bit of a technical problem just then, just one moment. So basically, serious fraud would be looking for anything involving corruption in cases like myself. Just going to go in here. I've nearly finished with this, so I'm nearly finished. Then I'm going to go on to the next one. Okay. Oh, shucks. All right. All right.